Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's Mary, and I'm here with this week's edition of 90 Days in 900 Seconds. Before the 90 Days, Season 6, Episode 14, Dirty Dancing. I'm telling you, whoever came up with the episode titles for this season of B90 and the other way was a huge fan of 80s movies. St. Elmo's Fire, Field of Dreams, now Dirty Dancing. Those are the ones I could just think of off the top of my head. Whoever came up with the titles, huge 80s movies fan. Take my word for it. If I was going to give this episode a grade, I would give it a solid B plus, and that is for David and Sheila. So let's set 900 seconds on the timer. Let's hop right in. So, actually, I'm going to start off with David and Sheila because they gave me the awe factor in this episode. They are the best thing that has happened to 90 Day in a long time. It's almost too good to be true. So, they start off, they're going snorkeling, okay? And David loves to go swimming because he doesn't need to hear underwater. And David is very impressed by Sheila's skills. She is picking up on sign language very rapidly, okay? Because Sheila is like, Amy is not coming on this trip, and I am going to communicate with my man. And she admits that she's shy in signing because she doesn't want to get it wrong, but she's going to learn. And whatever words she doesn't know, she just signs them out. With the letters. And hey, she spells them out. And her and David are making it work. And David is impressed on her commitment to signing and her commitment to communicating with him. And that is all the proof that he needs that Sheila is all in. So now they're going to go out to this fancy dinner. And Sheila has never been to a fancy dinner before. And she feels like a queen. Sheila, you are a queen, okay? I know you have had a rough time throughout the season, not only with your mother's death, but with the fan feedback. I've seen some rough fan feedback. People have thought that you only want David for his money, etc., etc. But personally, I do not think you are out for David's money. I think that you are one of the true couples that will last on 90 Day, and this has not happened in a long time, in my opinion. Okay? So they're getting dressed. Sheila's in a pretty dress. She does the twirl. David's, he's nervous already. They're not even at the dinner, and he's already starting to sweat. Okay? They sit down, fancy dinner. They drink a little bit of red wine. Sheila's like, the wine is gross. Then Sheila's, she's feeling sad because David's going to leave soon. And David's like, at first, David's like, why are you sad? And he's thinking maybe this is not a good time to like propose because she's been through a lot, or her mom dying, her son, not wanting to move to the States. And Sheila's like, I'm sad because it's almost time for you to leave and I'm going to miss you. And David's like, well, maybe this is a good time to propose. So he is sweating buckets, guys. Okay. I mean, the back of his shirt is fucking soaked. Sweating. I mean, the poor guy is so nervous. It was adorable. Okay. And he's like, don't you feel hot? And Sheila's like, honey, babe, are you okay? Like, why are you sweating? And he's like, don't you feel hot? And she's like, no, I'm okay. Like, honey, babe, why are you sweating? And he gets up and he gives her the ring. And at first she's like, is this real? Like, she couldn't believe it. And he's like, yes, this is for real. Like, I'm proposing to you. And she's hysterical. She says yes. He knocks over the wine. Of course, you know, it wouldn't be a sweet proposal without him clumsy knocking over the wine. They hug, they kiss, and it's just like, oh my goodness. Like, this is what 90 Days is supposed to be about. Okay, not Gino and Jasmine, which I'm going to get, but she's like, honey, babe, I can't believe this is real. Slap me. I can't believe this is real. And he's like, yes, honey, babe, this is real. I'm not going to slap you, but yes, this is real. They are just an adorable couple. I wish them nothing but the best. And this is what 90 Day is supposed to be about. Unlike Gino and Jasmine, which I will get to now, Gino goes to confront Jasmine about their fight, okay? Because Gino does not like that Jasmine blurted out all these horrible things about cheating on him, okay? And he wants to know if it's true. And of course, Jasmine backpedals because she sees the money and the green card slipping, okay? So she backpedals and she says, no, of course not. That isn't true. I didn't sleep with my ex a month ago and there isn't a video. No, of course not. I just said that because you pissed me off, Gino, and you deserved me to say those hateful, disgusting things to you because I am not the number one priority in your life. Okay, Gino? So listen, I know that I'm not your wife yet, okay? But I have to be the number one priority in your life. Fuck your family, okay? Basically, this is what she's saying. And Gino is putting, is putting his foot down. And Gino's like, you are on the same level as my family. And once we get married, you'll be a little higher than my family. But right now, you are on the same level as my family. I'm not putting you above my family right now. And Jasmine's like, okay, so I'm going to have to break up with you and let's go our separate ways. And Gino, surprisingly, says, okay, let's go our separate ways. And he walks away. Gino's like, okay, this is my time to run. I'm getting the fuck out of here. This bitch wants to be ungrateful. I'm paying $3,000 a month for rent in the best apartment in Panama, and she's fucking her ex in it and videoing herself. Okay, she told me to walk away. Gino walked away. This is not what 90 Days is supposed to be about. Because, spoiler alert, Jasmine was spotted at Walmart with Gino. So, she's in the States. Anyway, moving on, we have Statler and Dempsey. Statler. So she just has diarrhea of the mouth. Okay, she just puts her foot in her mouth every chance she gets. I don't know this chick. Okay, so Dempsey, bless her heart, tries so hard, and she is taking Statler to meet her friends. And Statler, of course, puts her foot in her mouth, and she starts talking about her sex life and how many women she's had and where she's had sex and the sex parties and the swinging clubs and et cetera, et cetera. And Dempsey's friends are just sitting there looking at her horrified. They're like, wow. And they know Dempsey is not as sexually open and free. And Statler's just, word vomit about her sex life. And then she insults their country by saying, heck no, I don't want to fucking live in England. It's cold as shit. I only want to live here because it's empty. Well, gee, thanks. Like, go fuck yourself, I would have told her. Like, Statler did not have a good impression on the friends. That's all I have to say. And yes, codependent and needy. I would have thought the same thing. Her friends told Dempsey, listen, she's nice, but she seems to be a little codependent and a lot needy. So for Dempsey's birthday, Statler decides to rent a whole castle in Scotland. Talk about a grand gesture. And of course, Dempsey is all like, oh, this is so romantic. And you know, there is nothing wrong with when you care about somebody, you going all in and the grand gestures. You know, and look at this. This is a beautiful castle. Statler went all in on this. This is all for me. This is for my birthday. No one has ever done anything like this for me before. I mean, do you blame Dempsey for thinking like this and having all these thoughts go through her head? Because how, if someone rented a whole castle in Scotland for me for my birthday and I was in a bubble bath with them chilling, I would think the same fucking thing. Okay. Like, hey, maybe this isn't bad after all. Maybe she's not that suffocating. Maybe, you know, maybe I could live with this. I could live with having a castle rented for my birthday every year, you know, and deal with the suffocation 362 days. I don't, you know, hey, why the fuck not? But I don't know. So they're sitting in a bubble bath, holding hands. Dempsey is convincing herself maybe this is not too bad. Maybe this could be her happily ever after. So we shall see next week. Amanda and Razvan, on the other hand, they are not having a happily ever after. Okay. Razvan is realizing that Amanda is not the woman for him. And unfortunately, he took her home to meet the parents, and he should have just canceled that part of the trip. Okay, in my opinion. So she is so affectionate all of a sudden. She is love bombing him. She has went from being a cold bitch to Razvan, I love you, I love you, I love you, hugging up on him, kissing his hands, holding his arm every chance she gets. Like, Amanda, okay, you shattered his heart. You told him that he is nothing like Jason, and now you want to be all up on him. Make up your mind. Okay, so they go to meet the parents. Mom makes chicken noodle soup and cabbage rolls. I was getting ready for her to say that she doesn't eat chicken. Then she asks Razvan to ask his parents why they didn't get along with his ex-wife. Why? Why? It's the first meeting. Why? The father gets all emotional when the father says that it just hurt them to see the relationship between Razvan and his ex-wife, because the ex-wife just tried to change him. The ex-wife was always pushing her views onto Razvan, didn't listen to him, and, you know, seeing this hurt them as parents. Okay, and the parents, you know, were getting emotional. Why do this? The first meeting, Amanda. Come on. Jeez. And now Razvan is just thinking that his relationship with Amanda is kind of like parallel to the relationship with his ex-wife. And maybe Amanda is not the woman for him after all. Dun, dun, dun. We could have told you that from like the second episode, Razvan. But it's good that you figured this out on your own. Just saying. So now moving on to someone else who is figuring things out on her own. And this is good. Christian and Cleo. So Christian, you know, he's a real good gaslighter. He invited a chick that he met at the bar over to Thanksgiving at their apartment, and is, you know, doesn't see anything wrong with it. But like Cleo's friend said, did you talk to any guys at the bar? And that's a real good point. But we'll get to that in a minute. So it turns out that his American friend that he met at the bar, fortunately or unfortunately, whichever way you may see it, she has plans. She's going to Belgium, so she won't be coming to Thanksgiving. But, you know, it really still kind of bothers Cleo. So while they were prepping the turkey, you know, Cleo brings this up to Christian. And, you know, Christian's like, it's really no big deal. You know, so he's nervous about Jane coming over, Cleo's friend, because the last time Jane was there was when Christian denied sleeping with her, and Cleo was confronting him about it, and he turned the whole thing around, and Cleo wind up apologizing to Christian, and Jane was like, I don't like this whole thing. Okay, so now Jane gets there, they're having dinner, and Cleo brings up the whole how that there was supposed to be another guest, someone that Christian met at the bar the night before, but she had plans and she couldn't come. And Jane's like, wait a minute, you invited another chick? And Christian's like, yeah, I was just being my usual friendly self. And Jane's like, let me ask you a question. Did you talk to any men at the bar? Being your usual friendly self, were there any men that you decided to like talk to at the bar? No, where it just all the men were just busy passing through. It was just this one chick that was available for me to talk to. And Cleo's like, yeah, I noticed that whenever you're your usual friendly self, it's always towards women. And Christian's like, well, you know, I feel kind of icky at this line of questioning. Okay. He always feels icky whenever he's called out on his shit. Do you notice that? And Christian's like, it bothers him that Cleo brought this up after they talked about this. Well, you know something? It still bothers her, asshole. Okay? Because you are a gaslighting asshole that always tries to turn things around on her. So, of course, she brought this up again in front of her friend because she feels stronger and has more confidence in front of her friend because you are a gaslighting asshole. Because you did this once before, turn things around on her. So, Christian feels icky because he's being himself and Cleo doesn't trust him, which Cleo has every right not to trust him. Those two are doomed. Meesha and Nicola, on the other hand, okay, he takes her to the Dead Sea. He's trying. He's really trying. But for a 46-year-old virgin, what the fuck do you expect? Like, seriously. For everyone, for all the comments that I see out there, that it's like, I don't know, him putting that seaweed mud on her is like putting sunscreen on someone, or I mean, yes, it was not romantic at all. He was slapping that shit on. He was not being romantic. He's a 46-year-old virgin. He's trying. His dancing in the water, trying to sexy dance. That sexy dance, I agree with Meesha, should not be done in public. It is not sexy, Nicola. Okay, but you're trying, Nicola. Okay, I give it to you. I give you a B for effort. A B for effort. Okay, and you know, she wants him to be more flirty and fun. He's a 46-year-old virgin. He doesn't know what flirty and fun is. Okay, you're gonna get caveman slapping the mud on, you know, like plaster style. Okay, you're not gonna get flirty and fun from a 46-year-old virgin. You're lucky he thought of the whole thing to take you there and to, you know, try to do this affectionate slapping the mud on you, Meesha. Okay, so no more dirty dancing moves, please. And that's where they get the title, of this episode from Nicola trying to do dirty dancing moves in the Dead Sea. It was a sight to behold, but for a 46-year-old virgin, he tried. He tried. So then he takes her to the stations of the cross, where Jesus carried the cross, the 14 stations of the cross. So, they experience another deep religious, spiritual, experience together. And then they go for coffee. And Meesha has this complicated coffee order. Nicola goes to get it, comes back, and he's like, here, Meesha. And, he feels like that he is making more of an effort to do the things that Meesha wants him to do. Be affectionate, say I love you, do the things that she wants him to do, but she's not saying I love you to him. He says I love you, and she's not saying it back, and he's noticing, and it's bothering him. And she's like, well, first of all, I'm not doing it intentionally. The 2 specific times that you pointed out, Nicola, I didn't do it intentionally, and I apologize. I'll fix things with you. I will say I love you more. But you have to admit, since I've been here with you in person, it's been a different Nicola. But yes, I will say I love you more. But I'm also concerned about my annulment, because if my annulment doesn't come true, what are we going to do? And Nicola's like, I believe with God, everything will work itself out. And you know something? So do I. Because I believe with all their struggles and everything else, these 2 somehow will work out. So that is all for this week. Thank you so much for watching me. Please subscribe if you don't already. Please hit the like button and share my video with a friend or 10. Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye.